Why isn't anyone talking about this 20-year-old University of Houston student who was reported missing September 11th, but found dead September 15th in the Bayou in Houston, Texas? Jade Sage McKissic. Let's talk about it. This is Jade.
More than 14 bodies have been pulled from this same river. 14. And yet, no one has real answers. This month alone, 5 more lives have been lost, including Jade. Beautiful, young, just 20 years old. A daughter, a student, a friend. She vanished on a normal night out, and just days later, her body was found floating in Jade Bayou, less than a mile from her campus. How does a place meant for dreams keep swallowing its own students?
Houston police confirm another dead body was found here at Buffalo Bayou. That marks the 5th one just this week and the 14th so far this year. Not much is known at the moment, but Houston police say they got to the scene around 8 this morning, confirming that a person was found dead on arrival. Someone who was paddling earlier today stumbled across the body and reported it to police. This marks the 14th body found this year within Houston's bayous.
14 bodies. Yes, you heard that right. More than 14 dead bodies have been pulled out of the same river. 5 of them this month alone. And among them, the beautiful, bright, 20-year-old Jade Sage McKissic. Now pause for a second. This isn't just a random statistic. This isn't just another headline. We're talking about real people, with real dreams, gone forever. And Jade's story is the one that has left a whole community shaken to its core. She wasn't a troublemaker. She wasn't someone living on the edge. She was a student, your typical, everyday girl who loved her school, her friends, and her future. She was majoring in strategic communications and advertising at the University of Houston. She was even part of the orientation team, welcoming new students to campus. She was the kind of girl who made others feel at home. And yet, just a few days ago, her body was pulled from Jade Bayou, a body of water less than a mile from her school. But here's the thing, Jade isn't the only one. Not by far. The river has been swallowing lives for years now, and nobody seems to have the answers. Is it negligence? Is it crime? Or something far more disturbing? One thing is certain, Jade's death is not just another tragedy. It's a question mark, a big, bloody question mark hanging over Houston. Stay with me, because Jade's story, and the chilling pattern around this river, is something you cannot ignore. Jade Sage McKissic. Just hearing her name should stop you in your tracks. She wasn't just another student. She wasn't some faceless stranger. She was 20 years old, beautiful, full of life, and trusted by everyone around her. At the University of Houston, she wasn't invisible, she stood out. A junior majoring in strategic communications and advertising. A campus leader. A friend to everyone. She even joined the 2025 orientation team, guiding new students and making them feel safe. She gave safety to others, but who was there to protect her? And then she vanished. Last seen on September 11th at LA Burgers and Daiquiris, right near campus. By September 15th, she was pulled lifeless from Jade Bayou. Now tell me this, how does a young woman like Jade, loved, smart, responsible, suddenly end up dead in a river less than a mile from where she lived? The official story: tragic accident. Another unlucky case. Another victim of circumstance. But really, how many times are we supposed to swallow that same tired line? Because here's the part the news won't shout loud enough. Jade was the 5th body in that river this month alone. The 14th overall. 14 bodies. 1 river. 1 city. And we're supposed to believe it's all just bad luck? At what point does coincidence start looking like conspiracy? At what point does the word drowning stop being an explanation and start looking like an excuse? You see, Jade wasn't reckless. She wasn't living on the edge. She was building her future. She was supposed to walk across a graduation stage, not be carried out of a river in a body bag. And yet, she's gone. So the question becomes, was this really an accident? Or is something far darker happening right under our noses? Because if one thing is clear, it's that Jade's story doesn't add up. And if we let her case get brushed aside like the others, then the truth about this river of death will be buried with her. Bray's Bayou. On the surface, it's just another stretch of water in Houston. But let's stop pretending. This isn't just a river, it's a graveyard. More than 14 bodies. 5 this September alone. And Jade Young, beautiful Jade, was one of them. Ask yourself, if this happened in some quiet town, if 5 people turned up dead in the same river within weeks, wouldn't it be breaking news across every channel in America? Wouldn't there be cameras, helicopters, FBI investigations? So why is Houston so quiet about it? Why is the university speaking about Jade in soft, careful words, calling her a friend to many, but not demanding answers about how her body ended up in the bayou? Because here's the part no one wants to say out loud. People don't just keep slipping into the same river over and over again. 14 bodies aren't coincidence. That's a pattern. And patterns like this usually mean one thing. Someone is covering up the truth. Think about it, students walk by that water every day. Families live nearby. But no warnings, no alerts, no real investigations that make headlines. It's as if Jade and the others were just written off as statistics. But statistics don't have names. Statistics don't have dreams. Jade did. And here's the uncomfortable truth. When bodies pile up and nothing changes, it's not just negligence, it's complicity. Somebody is either turning a blind eye or hiding something bigger. So we're left with the most chilling question of all. Is Bray's Bayou a natural danger, or is it being used as a dumping ground? Because if you think Jade's story ends with an accident, you haven't been paying attention. When Jade's body was pulled from Bray's Bayou, the university released a carefully worded statement. She was a student, a campus resident, a friend to many. Beautiful words. But here's the problem: words don't bring justice. Words don't explain why a 20-year-old girl disappeared near campus, only to be found lifeless in a river where more than a dozen others have been discovered. Where are the police press conferences? Where are the warnings to students? Where are the investigations that show us, the public, that somebody actually cares? Instead, it feels like silence. A silence so loud, it's deafening. And that silence raises one question. Is this neglect? Or is this a cover-up? Because here's the ugly truth, nobody wants to say. Universities don't like bad press. Cities don't like being called unsafe. Police don't like admitting they failed. And sometimes, the easiest way to protect reputations is to let stories fade away. But Jade wasn't just a story. She was someone's daughter. She was someone's friend. She was someone's dreamer who thought the future was wide open. And when authorities stay quiet while bodies keep turning up, it feels less like protection and more like betrayal. Think about it. 5 bodies this month. 14 overall. Yet the official response? Minimal. Almost like it's routine. Like human lives are just numbers in a file. This is why people lose trust in the system. Because when you see repeated tragedies, and the people in charge shrug it off, you start to realize something terrifying. Sometimes, the ones meant to protect us are the ones letting us down the most. So we're left asking, who failed Jade? Who's failing every victim that ends up in Bray's Bayou? And how long will this silence last before another body is found? And here's the question nobody wants to touch. Do you really believe Jade just fell into Bray's Bayou? Think about it. She was young, healthy, full of life. A leader on her campus. A girl with friends, a future, and plans. Do we really think she just ended up in that river by accident? Or was someone watching her? Was someone following her that night? And if so, how many others who ended up in that same river met the same fate? Here's the controversial part. Some people whisper that Bray's Bayou is becoming a dumping ground. A place where predators know bodies won't get answers, only excuses. And that sparks the next question. If Jade was murdered, is the silence from the authorities protecting the killer? That's the dangerous thought. Because silence doesn't just protect reputations. Sometimes, it protects monsters. And look at the pattern. 14 bodies found. 5 just this month. A 20-year-old bright student is now part of that count. Coincidence? Or a chilling pattern that points to something darker? Here's the part that will divide people. Some say the police are doing all they can, and the public doesn't understand how investigations work. Others say the police know far more than they admit, but speaking up would expose failures. Or worse, hidden truths. So, ask it out loud. Is Jade's death part of a series of tragic accidents? Or is there a serial predator in Houston that no one wants to talk about? You decide. But whatever the answer, silence will only make the body count rise. Here's the part nobody wants to admit. Jade could have been any one of us. A friend, a daughter, a classmate, even you. She wasn't walking into some dark alley at 3 a.m. She was out near campus, a place we're told is safe. And yet, her body ended up in the river. So, here's the real uncomfortable question. Are we lying to young people when we tell them their campuses are safe? Because the truth is, predators don't care about gates, cameras, or campus police. And when bodies keep showing up in the same river, 5 in 1 month, the question shifts from how to who's covering this up. And that's where the emotions boil over. Some say Jade's death is an isolated tragedy. Others say it's a warning, proof that students are being hunted, while officials pretend it's nothing. But here's the cliffhanger. If Jade's case fades into silence like the others, how many more names will be added to that river? Think about it. Will we ever know the full truth about what happened to her? Or will Jade keep swallowing the evidence, one body at a time? Jade McKissic was more than a headline. She was a 20-year-old with dreams, friends, and a future. And now she's gone, but the questions she leaves behind are bigger than her. They're about us, our safety, our silence, and who might be next. If you think her story deserves justice, don't stay quiet. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was this accident, or something far darker? And if you want the truth about stories others won't dare touch, subscribe. Because we're not done asking the questions that make people uncomfortable.